Hello and welcome to the What's Good with Gil and Larry podcast on the Box Office Buzz channel. On this Tuesday, I got my main man, Larry Loper. Myself, I am Gilly Rosari, and we are coming at you live on this Tuesday from Northern Delaware. Thanks for joining in.
Yes,
Please
sir.
remember to hit like, subscribe, tell a friend, make a comment whenever you want to make a comment about the show. Keep it respectful, and we'll bring it up, incorporate it in the show, do all that jazz. So thank you for tuning in. Larry, how you doing? You doing good?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great, man. It's my best time of the season right now. Cause we getting the March Madness, like real March Madness. We're past all the conference tournaments, so we know where the seeding is at. I'm loving that part, which is going to bridge us to basketball and hockey playoffs. Cause we winding down the season, so we got a lot to talk about. So I don't want to, be here all day talking about stuff that I ain't got to talk about. So let's go. I wanted to jump into these games. You know what crazy though, Gil? We was talking before it came on, right? And your trepidation about March Madness, right? And I said this: nobody knows what's going to go on in March Madness. That's why it's so madness, especially the first rounds, because we don't have all the information we need. Because only time throughout the year, if you watch college ball, you're only paying attention to the top 25 for the most part. I don't know about the mid majors. I don't know about the other schools, and they have athletes, and this is their time to shine. This is the time for Cinderella to come to the ball. So we were trying to figure out who's going to be the Cinderellas. I want to know who's going to be the first one, number one, to be knocked out. I want to know who is a pretender and not a contender. And I want to know all this. And this is the beautiful part of March Madness because we don't know. The experts don't know. People that watch basketball every single day don't know. So right now, it's everybody's opinion, and we want to know your opinion. Yeah, if y'all found a bracket, me and Gil want to know what your opinion is about these games. Okay, 100%. Now, Gil, I don't know what region you want to start off in, man. I mean, we could just, kind of go region by region, pick out some games that you think is going to be interesting, and we can move from there.
Okay, I like it.
That works. So I guess I'll go with the West. You want to go with the West first?
Sure.
Let's go with the West. All right. So out the West we got. Let me bring up the West people for you, man. I apologize, America. I'm new to my thing. So you got Florida coming out that West with UConn, Memphis. I bring it back for y'all because I know it was a little fast right there. But you got Maryland, right, and Memphis, Maryland. I like Florida. Off top, Florida for me, I think is gonna have a deep run, especially what I saw in that tournament. Because I think they came out the SEC, which was the hardest conference this year. They're loaded. They're loaded. I was all Auburn. I still think Auburn could go probably Elite 8. I'm not picking them all away, but Florida is strong. Florida is strong. So I'm liking Florida definitely coming out that region. And I think they're going to end up playing Maryland eventually because I think Maryland got a nice team too. What's your thoughts on just that top half of the bracket?
Well, truth be told, I have not watched every team that's in that bracket. I have not watched every team in every bracket, but I did watch Florida. And Florida right now, out of the 4 number 1 seeds, they seem to me right now to be the best of all number 1s. They just look different. They are sharp. They are healthy. Yeah. I think they are from top to bottom. They are right now the team to beat. I mean, I know Auburn, I believe, is the number 1 overall team. Houston's the other number 1. And Duke, we don't even know who Duke's playing right now in that first round. I'm going to say Florida, out of the 4 of them, is the one that I believe strongest goes to the Final Four out of the 4 number 1 seeds. I think they're the best team right now. You said you thought Auburn is Elite 8.
Elite 8.
I like Houston. Don't love Houston. I like Duke a lot, but their best player is injured right now. I don't know how he's going to come back, how he's going to look. They're saying he might not even play that first game.
Yeah, first one. Yeah.
So we'll see. I like Florida 1, Duke 2, Auburn 3, Houston 4 out of those 4 top seeds.
Now the bottom half of the West, You got Missouri and Drake, Texas Tech, UNCW, Kansas, and Arkansas, which is going to be an interesting matchup right there. And then as I had to do it this way because for a reason, right? But Arkansas and Kansas St. John's is my sleeper team. If you want to ask me who my sleeper team is, St. John's. Only thing about St. John's that I will argue against is the fact that they don't have too many shooters, perimeter shooters. So once they come against a team that kind of could shoot, that kind of hurt them a little bit, right? But they do defend well. They're strong. They're well coached. Patino, as we was talking about, is one of them coaches that Hall of Fame coach. He took 6 programs to the tourney, man. His resume speaks for itself. 2 years in, and y'all win the Big East. 2 years, y'all win the Big East. St. John's has been relevant since
2002.
test. Like, you know, that's the last time I can remember the St. John's being like in my era watching basketball.
Who was their coach? Jarvis? Is that their coach?
Mike Jarvis. Yep, Mike Jarvis. That's the last time I could think of St. John's being relevant. And to win the Big East, and they won dominantly. They went dominantly, bro. Another game that I like in that bottom half of the West is that Arkansas matchup. I'm thinking that Arkansas matchup is in Kansas. You got Kansas, not the Kansas of the Kansas we've known. Okay,
Right.
They started out number 1 this year. They was ranked number 1. It was a hard year for them.
It feels like ages ago.
Yeah. And then you got Arkansas with Calipari. He always gets in, man. He had a lot of injuries to that squad this year. So between them two, I got on paper Kansas. I like the big man they got down there. They got some pieces, KJ Adams. They got some pieces, but then Calipari got some horses too. It's going to go against coaching to me. Is Bill Self a better coach?
How about those coaches going at it? Bill Self and
Calipari.
Wow.
I'm asking who's the better coach, in your opinion?
Ooh, wow. You know, Calipari, again, another one of those guys that took a bunch of programs and made them great. I remember him at UMass in the 90s. Obviously, Kentucky. What was before that? Was it Memphis before Kentucky?
Memphis. Yep, with Derrick Rose. Yep, Memphis. Derrick Rose.
Won the championship game. Should have won.
They should. Yeah, they did go to the championship game that year. Sure did.
Won it. And now he's with Arkansas.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna go with Arkansas.
Are you
upset? I am. I don't think this is a Kansas year, and I'm not going to give them the benefit of the doubt. And I don't think this is one of the few times that Self will not have the coaching advantage in capacity, present or past. Calipari's right there with them. So
I'm looking for that game.
And you know, this is one of the few times in quite a while where Calipari is playing with house money because they're not supposed to win. Kansas is supposed to win.
Yeah.
You know, when he was with Kentucky, they were expected to win. Kentucky is arguably the biggest college program. That venue right there, I mean, that is college, that is pro, that is everything to them in that area, that Kentucky Wildcats program. So he always had top of the food chain pressure. He doesn't have that with Arkansas. And, you know, they're in the tournament. Yeah. They are a slight underdog. I'm going to go with Arkansas with the upset on that one.
Ooh, they ain't a bad one, though. 8-9 seed is you're neck and neck. That's like even. That's even. The 8-9 is, you can't go wrong with 8-9 seed. And that's a good one. I wouldn't be surprised. It's not a game that I would be surprised if Arkansas won that game. Because like you said, Kansas is not coming in like a normal Kansas team, a highly favored team. To be an AC for a Kansas squad, not a good year. So I like your train of thought on that one, man. I really do. I guess the next one I'll go to is the South. What's going on with the South, man? You got Auburn, the team I'm talked about, number one, Louisville, Creighton, Michigan, and UC San Diego, and Texas A&M and Yale. I'm telling you my upset pick for this part of the region. I'm gonna tell you my upset pick. It's not a sexy pick, but I'm telling you who I think is going to win. I'm liking Yale. I'm liking Yale over Texas A&M.
That's not where I thought you were going.
I was going Yale, Texas A&M, brother. Because the Ivy League schools always give people problems.
Yeah, you
because
know why?
One, they can shoot. They can shoot
from anywhere.
They can shoot from anywhere, and they play great D, and they always play that pick and roll game. You know what I'm saying? So and I know Texas is a big team that don't really mean nothing to me if you get to a team that, especially if Yale's in the game. If they're in that game and they're not getting blown out, I'm liking Yale. Because if Texas A&M is able to put their will and their might on the game, it's going to be a bad game for Yale. They're just going to get blown out because they're not going to be physical enough to be able to compete with them. But if you are able to slow the game down, play good pick and roll ball, hit the shots when you need to hit them shots, I'm liking Yale. I'm liking Yale.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. And those Ivy League schools usually do well round one for some reason. They come ready. They are shooting as soon as they step on the court, they're shooting and they're hitting everything.
Yes, sir.
They normally don't have the athletes that they're playing up against, though. And in the second half, when some of those shots aren't dropping, then that's when the other team makes it fun. I thought you were going to pick who I'm going to pick, which, again, is not sexy for a different reason. Yours isn't sexy because it's Yale.
Yeah.
Mine isn't sexy because they're ranked, to me, a little lower than what they should be, but they're still a big favorite in their first game. As a matter of fact, it's one of those 5-12 games.
Ooh.
And I like Michigan. Michigan's one of those teams that I've watched recently, and I like Michigan.
Yeah, they won the Big Ten, right? They won the Big Ten.
They won the Big Ten. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm surprised that they're ranked lower than a couple of teams that they beat. Yeah, I'm surprised that Wisconsin's ranked higher than them, right?
That's crazy. Yeah, they are. That's crazy. And you won the Big Ten, and you're a 5 seed, so I can see that. Man, I mean, if Yale does beat Texas A&M, then the next round for Michigan is going to be an easy game for Michigan, because that's why I think that the superior team is going to be superior. Like you said, I think the first one's going to be the Cinderella story, the slippers, you know how that go, and then the pumpkin comes out the next game, and the reality of who you playing comes out, and then the better athletes that's why they're Power 5 schools, man. They got top athletes. Blue chippers. This is what they have. This is what you're paying for. These are big universities, man. They got sponsorships, and payrolls, and you know how it go. So, yeah. And Auburn, man. Like I said, Auburn. This is none of the ones are losing in the first round. Okay, the only one that we can remember in recent history that went down was Virginia. Remember, they lost.
Didn't they lose like the next year after they won the?
Yep, they sure did. Yep, and it was
the one that
Maryland Eastern Shore beat them, the Terriers.
Right.
Maryland Eastern Shore beat them. Oh man.
The one that always stands out to me was the one in 96 when UCLA had won in 95. And then the very next year they lost in the first round.
They did.
To oh my gosh.
Was it Valparaiso? Was it Drew? Was it Drew? Was it
Creighton? Who did they lose?
Was it Creighton or Valparaiso? I remember that game.
I can't remember who they lost to. And whoever won the next game they had to play Mississippi State, something like that. Oh no, it was. You know who it was?
Who was it?
I feel so stupid now. It was another Ivy League school. It was Princeton.
Was it Princeton? Oh, it was Princeton.
Princeton
It
Tigers.
was.
It was
It was
Princeton
Princeton.
who beat UCLA.
Yup. You're right. It was Princeton.
Princeton.
Cause was that the O'Bannon brothers on that team?
Yeah,
That lost?
so Eddie O'Bannon had left.
That's
He
when he won
won
the chip.
championship. He left.
Yeah.
Got drafted by the Nets, who, by the way, your boy played one-on-one against when he was a rookie. And guess who won? I'll give you a hint. Not Eddie O'Bannon.
Did he take
Fact.
it easy? Was y'all playing? Was y'all playing horse?
Not horse. We played one-on-one, and okay, he might have been a little light on me on the defense, maybe, but and he might have quit the game before we got to 11. But the score was 8-5, and after he dunked it on me, he just left. He's like, "I'm good, man." That's how it ended. He dunked it on me to make it 8. He got 5. I had 8, and he left. He left the gym. I was still playing. Dunk on me. I'm getting ready to dunk on you. I could never dunk on him. I couldn't dunk, period. But I could shoot back then.
He was like, what, 6'11"?
You didn't block it. Anyway, yeah, that was at the APA gym in North Bergen, New Jersey. Yeah, the Nets used to practice there. They used to practice. I met a whole bunch of Nets there. I met Sean Bradley. I used to talk to Kenny Anderson after he got injured during that Knicks game in 1993 and had to miss the rest of the season. And the Nets made the playoffs, but they had no Kenny Anderson. Yeah, man. Yeah, I used to talk. I met Bernard King. He was a grouch, that guy.
Was he?
Yeah. You know who was cool? Cool AF. Rick Mahorn. Cool AF. Like he was like your buddy as soon as he said hi to you.
Wow, because he was such a physical player on a court that you wouldn't even thought that.
He was super nice. You could talk to him like a dude. Like I'm doing shoot around, he's doing shoot around. We're talking. He was awesome. Awesome. Yeah. So anyway, to get back to the UCLA, so his brother was still on the team. What was it, Charles
O'Bannon,
younger brother? He was on it, and they lost. They went from winning to the next year losing in the first round to Princeton. Ivy League
team we talked about.
Yeah.
Ivy League team we talked about. And Auburn has quite arguably one of between Johnny Broom, who I just brought up, this guy number 4, between him and Cooper Flagg is going to be your Naismith players for this year. That's going to be between him and Cooper Flagg, man. This dude is awesome. This dude right here is the reason why I got Auburn at least making an 8, because he's a problem in that paint, man. He really is. Now, why I think that Auburn might not make it past 8 is going to be coming down to the shooters. Because he's going to do what he do. He's going to draw the attention, just like in the game in SEC champion in the tournament, right? Tennessee, he got his. It was an open shots they couldn't make. He was coming down. They clamped down on him. He kicked out to the open man. Man missed 3 shots in a row, man. 3 shots in a row, man. So I think that if you scout well, especially when the matchups are matchups, when it's going to start evening out, when you get to Elite 8, it's going to even out, right? I think that that's going to be the Achilles heel of Auburn, is I don't think their shooters are going to come and shoot when they need to shoot. Pressure bust pipes, man. Pressure bust pipes.
That's what I worry about with St. John's. They're going to get coached well. They're going to play fundamental. They're going to be hard. They're going to get every 50-50 ball, but I don't know if they've got the shooting.
Yeah.
I mean, they're a number 2 seed, and they earned it. But they're the kind of team that can either go far or they could get knocked out early because they don't drop the shots. They are,
but to their
of Ivy League.
To their credit though, they have not lost a game. All the games they lost have not been a combined 7 points. A stat came up. They haven't lost by combined 7, meaning that they're always in the game.
Mm-hmm.
They have not been blown out all year. So I think that mentality going to the tournament is a mentality that you need to know that I don't care how big the game going to get. We're going to make runs. We're going to be in this game. We're well coached. We're confident. So you have a very confident 2 seed coming in. I just can't wait, man, till they match up with, and they play big power schools, so it's not like they're going to be overwhelmed by anybody. You
Mhm.
know, I think what you said, it's going to come down to shooting. It's going to come down to, if a team give you them open shots, can you knock them down? Because we're not going to let you beat us in the paint if that's what you do. So if we could take the paint away from you, live and die by the tray ball.
Mm.
That's what we're going to make you do, right? And then the bottom half of the South, you got Ole Miss, San Diego, North Carolina, Iowa State, Lipscomb, Marquette, New Mexico. I'm gonna tell you my sleeper team in the bottom half of this. I like Michigan State a lot because I just don't go against Izzo. I don't go against Tom Izzo. He's a great coach, legendary coach. I'm gonna tell you who I think is gonna be the upset, brother. It's gonna be that New Mexico Marquette. You know that's Rick Pitino's son is coach in New Mexico.
Mhm.
And if he got any of his dad's genes, I'm liking him in that first round. I'm liking him in that first round.
I can't comment. I can't comment much on that. Who's the number 2 seed in that bracket? That was um you just mentioned them.
I'll bring him up again.
Oh, hold on.
Michigan State.
Michigan State.
Izzo.
I'm liking Michigan State.
Yeah,
I'm
I
liking
like Michigan State. It's hard to go against Tom Izzo,
They
especially
are
in the
my
tournament.
favorite number 2 seed. I like
Are they?
St. John's first, Michigan State second, Tennessee third, Alabama fourth.
Oh, you got Alabama fourth? I think
Fourth.
Alabama. Yeah, because they got destroyed in the championship. Florida destroyed them. They destroyed them.
But that is Florida.
It is Florida. I think Ole Miss is going. I think Ole Miss is going to lose to that 11th seed too. Whoever it is, if it's either North Carolina, I think North Carolina's going to win though. I got North Carolina winning. I know they don't deserve to be here.
Yeah, you want to talk about that? You want to talk about that crime?
I know they don't deserve to be here. So if the basketball guys are being basketball guys, North Carolina ain't gonna win that first matchup. But if they happen to come out there, I think they could beat Ole Miss.
Screwed West Virginia. We said for them to have a chance, they needed to win.
Indeed.
The ACC tournament. They didn't.
They got the semis.
And then it comes out and then it comes out that the athletic director got a vote on this thing. And by the way, he gets a $100,000 bonus if UNC made the tournament.
Wow.
How about that? How about that?
Wow.
So he gets to cast a vote for whomever.
Wow.
Happens to be his team that he runs at his school. He gets $100,000 bonus. That's a nice chunk of coincidental change.
You're right about that.
That's nice. That's a nice jingling going on in the pocket. Jingling. Let me go to the coin machine and empty this out.
Oh my goodness.
Give me a minute. Whatever, man.
Whatever, man. That is not it. So it's no mystery that
investigation. Let's not put 2 and 2 together. You know what I'm saying? Come on, dude. Come on. That's gross. That's a crime.
That's a crime. And
I
feel sorry for West Virginia, man, because they legitimately should have made the tournament, not play for the NIT. But their state let everybody know how disappointed they are in that decision to let North Carolina in. They had a whole.
All you could do is cry about it.
Yeah, that's pretty much. You could be as we're going to allude to later on in our show, John Cena. You get your John Cena on. You get the tissues out, man. Get the tissues out, man.
Yeah, we got some stuff to say about that.
Well, yes, we do, brother.
So
yes,
we did all the regions, right? Do we hit them all? Okay.
No, I got the South is done, so we got to do the East.
All right, let's do it.
Let's get the East done, man. So the top of the East, you got Duke. We don't know who they're playing, but it doesn't matter. Mississippi State, Baylor, Oregon, Liberty, Arizona, Akron. Honestly, I don't see no upsets in this region for me.
Nope. I was tempted to pick Akron, but nope.
Yeah, I was lean in there too, but because Arizona's not dominant, but I like Caleb Love. I do like Caleb Love. He used to play for North Carolina. He's having a strong year. I just don't see no upsets. And like you was alluding to, man, if this guy right here, Cooper Flag, number 2, number 1, number pick, if this guy for Duke could get in the game, that guy right there, if he is playing, oh man, I'm just saying Duke could have a strong run, bro. But they strong though. They strong. They strong.
Number 2 on the floor, number 1 in our hearts.
Yes, he is, because he's going number 1.
He's going
we
number
pray
1.
He don't go. We pray.
The dude from Auburn's going number 2.
Yeah, I got him going number 2. And I pray that Washington Wizards do not get the number 1 pick. Tired of good picks, but it's cool. They could get the guy last year. Who cares about that guy? I don't even I don't know about that guy. But Cooper Flag is going to be much watched TV, man. And I think he's going to, man, I'm trying to think who he remind me of. I'm trying to think he remind me of. You think Leitner? Christian Leitner?
No, Christian Leitner didn't have hops like that. Christian Leitner was 6'11".
Yeah, but he was dominant.
He was dominant, but he was a dominant post guy that could go inside, outside. He wasn't.
You know what hops like that though? That went to Duke.
Grant Hill.
Yeah, but I was gonna say Plumlee. Remember Plumlee, Mason Plumlee?
And Plumlee 6'10", 6'11". He played big man kind of ball. That's not what Cooper Flag is. Is a wing. He's a small forward. That's what he is.
You got him like so you compare him to Grant Hill, like Grant Hill type game.
He has a Grant Hill type game. Yes. Now Grant Hill's game evolved as he was with Duke and became not a point guard, but a point forward where he handled the ball a lot and brought it up a lot. Flag's not doing that just yet, but in the half court set, he looks a lot like Grant Hill to me. A lot like Grant Hill. He might be a better shooter than Grant Hill was. Actually, Grant Hill in college, he was a scorer but not a shooter.
I mean, he came in
ball handler and played above the rim, but not a shooter.
I mean, Flag did come in with the hype, and in my opinion, he lived up to the hype.
What about I know he didn't have like a star NBA kind of career, but he did play in the NBA for a while, but he was a star in college. What about Shane Battier?
Oh, Shane Battier had a great career in the pros.
I don't know about great career. He was never an all-star.
Championships. He won championships.
Yeah, but
he was known as a defensive stopper. He was known as a guy that could hit the three, sort of like a Robert Horry type.
He was a good player, but when he won championships, he was coming off the bench. He wasn't a starter. When he was starting was when he was with Memphis.
Memphis, yeah, it was Memphis.
That's when he was a starter, and he was pretty good, but not real good. And then he really started to contribute when he came off the bench. He started winning championships with Miami.
He did. Yeah, he was. He was dominant in Duke, though. He was, but he was smart.
He was really good.
Yeah, he was. He was smarter than everybody. He was like he had a basketball mind. I think that's why he excelled in college, because he just outthought everybody. He's like a rocket scientist, literally. Like he's like literally a rocket scientist.
Well, all right. The thing about Duke is you kind of gotta be smart. Gotta be a little bit smart to go there.
Yeah.
Especially if you're one of those guys that's gonna play like 3-4 years. You're not gonna. You could skip class, your freshman year, and then be out of there. But if you're gonna stay 3-4 years, you're going to class.
Yeah.
Carlos Boozer was going to class.
I
don't know if Jay Williams did, but Carlos Boozer.
But Jay Williams played what? One year? Was he one and done, or he played 2?
He played 2.
Yeah, he played 2. I mean, Mike Dunleavy Jr.
He won the championship his freshman year with Shane Battier.
Yeah.
And Carlos Boozer. And what's his name coming off the bench, who's running Golden State now? The GM of Golden State.
Oh, Mike Dunleavy Jr.
Levy. Yep.
Mike Dunleavy Jr.
Levy was coming off the bench as a freshman. Yeah, that was a nice squad.
It was. I mean, they had look, talking about some fun. Yeah. Because who was at Carolina that year? Was that the year that James Winston what's my man that went to Golden State? It was him, Vince Carter,
And,
Antoine Jameson.
yeah, Antoine
Was
James.
that?
That was
Yep.
in the 90s. That was
Was that the year that Jason
97,
Williams?
98, something like that. And that was before.
Okay,
That was
okay.
before.
They had a dope squad too.
They had a good squad, but they didn't win a championship.
Nah, Dean Smith was a coach then. The
He
great
was
late
still
Dean
the
Smith.
coach. Yes, he was.
Yep.
Yeah, they got
Yep.
knocked out by Arizona, I believe, with Bibby and
Yeah, because Arizona won it that year though, didn't they?
they won it. Yeah,
With
Bibby was
Miles Simon and all them. Yep.
Yep.
I liked Arizona then. I did with Lou Holt or Lou Olson. Lou Olson.
Yep.
Yep. And the bottom half of the East is BYU. Them guys right there, your two, Alabama, your last two that you got. BYU, VCU, Wisconsin, Montana. That's gonna be interesting. St. Mary's and Vanderbilt. It's got to be upset. Robert Morris in Alabama. I don't know, Gilly.
What
BYU
about
playing great ball.
you think VCU could beat BYU?
It's gonna be BYU playing real good ball coming to the
And they're
tournament.
always usually pretty good. Again,
Yeah.
another one of those squads that has shooters.
Yeah, they got shooters. So and VCU normally played. I know underneath Shaka Smart when he was there, they had that kind of like Cincinnati type of defense where they'll flood a whole bunch of.
Where's Shaka Smart at now? Is it
He's at it's in Big East. Shaka Smart is, I want to say, it ain't Creighton, it's Marquette.
Marquette.
He's at Marquette. Yep. And oh man, I don't know. Now I don't see VCU being BYU. I don't see it happening.
That was the only one that I could think of.
Yeah, because I think St. Mary's will beat Vanderbilt. Alabama shouldn't have a problem the first round. Not with because they gonna run the scoreboard though. One thing about Alabama, they gonna run the scoreboard up on you. So at the East, I really don't see no upsets, bro.
And maybe it doesn't happen.
Okay.
What about these 5-12 matchups? You got
okay.
Oregon Liberty. You got Clemson McNeese.
Mm-hmm.
You got Memphis Colorado State, and you got Michigan UC San Diego. San Diego. What's that from? What movie? What movie? What movie? Instead of saying San Diego, they said San Diego. What movie?
I don't know.
4, 3, 2, 1. Anchorman.
Oh man.
Oh man. Oh, how did I miss?
Oh man.
Oh man.
Of all that, man, I'm about to tell you team I'm to bring up for you.
I hope you're gonna pick a different game than I picked because I already told you mine.
Yeah, I'm like Colorado State with you.
Oh come on, you're a cheater.
I'm like Colorado State, man. I think them boys. I was watching them, man. Watching them, they strong. They strong. But of all the five, it's the only ones I could see that's for me as an upset.
Is Penny Hardaway still coaching Memphis?
Memphis, yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna say out of those 4, I'm gonna pick Colorado State. I definitely don't think Liberty's beating Oregon.
No.
I don't think McNeese is beating Clemson.
No, Clemson the only team that beat Duke in the ACC.
And I told you I already like Michigan, so I'm not picking UC San Diego. I'm not picking them. So yeah, the only one I can see is Colorado State Memphis. And I think Colorado State's got a good shot. Because I think Memphis not so bueno.
Nah, I mean they won the American, but the American is not strong. So of all the Power 5 conferences or the conferences that are legit, American is probably the weakest. And I wasn't impressed. I saw Memphis play that tournament. I wasn't impressed. Like it wasn't nothing that jumped off the page at me and say I think they're going to go deep. But congratulations to Penny. He got his team in the tourney. They won their tournament, so that's good coaching. But I agree with you. I think Colorado State of any upset would be that one. So I won't be surprised when the ticker come across and Memphis lost.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna be a tough matchup, a real tough matchup. And the last region that we will discuss is the Midwest. It's the last one. And the top of that is Houston. You got Gonzaga, Georgia, Clemson, McNeese, we talked about, and Purdue against High Point. Bro, I don't know nothing about it, but
You picking High Point?
I want to shoot the dice for High Point, man. I don't know why. I'm looking at these dudes, but I want to shoot the dice for High Point.
Do it.
That ain't the dice I'm gonna shoot. I'm actually gonna take Georgia. I'm taking Georgia. I like Georgia, man. I like Georgia over Gonzaga. I like Georgia over Gonzaga.
No, I don't. Out of there.
You don't see nobody.
You think High Point's going to beat Purdue? Nah, I don't see that.
I said, if anything, I'm going to take Gonzaga.
I'm going to
not Gonzaga. I'm going to take Georgia over Gonzaga.
I'll take Gonzaga then. I think Gonzaga will get out of the first round.
Okay. I mean, they did win their conference.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely won their conference.
They only choke when they're expected to go deep. That's when they choke.
Yeah, you're right. When they come in as a number 1 or 2 seed, they normally choke. And the last one is the Illinois Texas Xavier. That's one interesting one. Kentucky Troy. I'm a Kentucky guy, man. I'm scared of this game though. Utah State, UCLA, Tennessee, Wofford. I'll tell you my pick.
Tennessee.
You got Tennessee.
Kind of UCLA.
You like UCLA? I see going against you on that one.
One of those that got a lower seating than they should have. I thought Michigan and UCLA should have been higher.
You think so?
I thought so, yeah. And I thought Wisconsin should have been lower. And I thought North Carolina shouldn't have even made it.
I actually like Utah State to beat UCLA that first round.
Well, how about that? We see that game different.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. You're probably going to be right.
Probably not. It's March Madness, man. Nobody's ever right. Nobody's ever right in March Madness, man.
100%.
So,
anything else you want to bring up about the tournament?
Oh man, I can't wait till it gets started. I can't wait to see.
That started today.
Yeah.
Yesterday. Whatever.
Now, I do have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Who's your first number 1 out?
Houston.
You got Houston?
Mm-hmm. Out of the 4, number 1, I think they're the worst of the 4. They're still good, but I think Florida.
I got Duke.
I hope you're wrong.
I know you're Dookie, but I got Duke.
I'm gonna say Houston. I'm gonna stick with that.
Gil says Houston. I say Duke.
Yep.
All right. I think that's our wrap up of college ball.
But we will talk about it on next week's show.
Yes, we will.
And we'll be down to 16.
30. It'll be 32. Round 32. Because 64 is this week. Yeah, it's 32. Yeah, no, you're right. 16 because it'll be the 16th up next week because all weekend we balling. Oh, I love it. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel, please, man. And leave your comments who you think is going to come out this tournament. If you think we wrong, we'd like to know.
Yep. Please.
Please let us know.
This is not, where I feel super secure in making predictions. So if you leave a comment, you disagree with me, there's a better than 50-50 chance that I think you're going to be right and I'm going to be wrong. I'm just being honest. This is not really my wheelhouse yet. As the tournament goes on and as I'm watching it, then, I'll be able to observe better. But, how many college games? Who's watching UC San Diego? Go ahead. Tell me. I want to know.
Only their fan base.
McNeese. Not me.
Only their fan base.
Not me. The only thing I know about Liberty is that catchphrase. Liberty, 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 liberty. That's what I know about that. Lady
Since
Liberty, Statue of Liberty.
since we in this basketball, I just want to keep it in the kind of basketball mindset, right? But I want to go to the big boys, the guys that actually get paid a lot of money to do what they do, right? And I want to ask you, Gil. I just want to ask you this. I want to start off with the East. Who do you have as legitimate contenders in the East?
Well, the East, the contenders,
The
definitely.
contenders, legitimate contenders to take it all the way to the finals. Give me 4 teams that you could say if you got 4 for me.
Stretch it if I got to do 4. I'm gonna say Cavs, Celtics. Yes, yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Bucks, Pistons.
You had the Pistons?
Yeah, I like the Pistons.
I was like
right now they're the 7th seed.
Yeah.
There were some big. You think there's big gaps on the East? There's super big gaps on the West behind.
So you don't got the Knicks?
I don't have the Knicks. No, I don't. I don't.
You don't think Jalen Brunson can get us to the promised land?
Not this year.
Big Cat. You don't think that combo him and Cat can get it done?
Maybe next year. Maybe next year.
Okay. So do you have Boston or Cleveland coming out as your final?
I gotta say Boston.
Yeah.
I don't want to say Boston, but I mean they got when they have when they're firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, it's hard to beat them.
They're the team. I gotta see the Cavs do it without LeBron before I pick them to go to the finals.
And then also, I know they've been deep all year. They have a great squad. They have a strong squad. But like you're saying, the boss is a champion. So when it comes to champion time, I think they're going to get into that mold. They're the second in the East right now. And I always said if you didn't fall off and you're right around that cusp, as soon as the playoffs, you back in that mode. And if you're healthy, like you said, when you come in healthy, they're a hard team to beat. They're going to be a hard team to beat. And then it's not the fact that you won one, is can you repeat? So that's the mark of a real champion if you go repeat and go back to back. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what's funny about Boston. I know you can't rely on him because he's a walking injury. But when he's healthy, when he plays, to me, the best player on Boston is Porzingis.
Indeed.
He's
the hard matchup.
He's the impossible matchup.
He's a unicorn.
Threes, but he could get off any shot he wants from anywhere.
Yeah. And then he's a rim blocker.
Yes.
So you're right.
He's always injured.
He's always injured.
All the time.
Now, my question to you now is, who do you got coming out the West?
The West is funny, man, because there is a big gap between number 1 Thunder and number 2 the Rockets. That's 12.5 games.
Yeah,
but 2 through 5 is very close. The Rockets and the Nuggets are both 12.5 back from the Thunder, and the Lakers and the Grizzlies are both 13.5. And then the Warriors are 17.
So they're just separated by a game.
They're separated by 1 game between 2 and 5.
Man, so that's fluid. So that means that could shift. It's fluid coming into these last couple weeks.
If the Thunder is healthy, I'm going to say the Thunder. They've been number 1 all year. They were number 1 last year.
Yeah.
I'm going to say the Thunder. They're going to figure out how to win in the playoffs.
I'm in agreement with you.
So I like the Thunder, and number 2, I like the Nuggets.
I'm totally agreement with you.
Player, they won the championship 2 years ago.
I don't think they
lose to the Timberwolves this year.
Nah, not this year. Not this year. Anthony Edwards went to a different mode, but they don't have that same team. Yeah,
they don't. Anthony Towns.
Yeah, they traded Cat. I think they messed up the whole flow of that team. But as much as we got on them, I think they have made them legitimate though. With them too, I still thought they were legitimate. I thought there would be a bounce back year, and they just pulled the trigger on that one. So I'm agreement, man. I like the move that Golden State made with Jimmy Butler. So they're definitely legitimate. They're definitely a legitimate threat, especially you still got Steph Curry out there. Draymond.
I like the Lakers too. if they get healthy, if LeBron gets healthy,
Yeah, they
that
could be a
that,
problem. I
that
just don't
one
think that the
right
size.
there.
I don't think that you're right. I mean, you got the king. I mean, he's the king, and he don't have to do the bulk because he got Luca.
Mm-hmm.
So they can legitimately go far. But I think that Oklahoma City will end up being in the finals because they were there. They were almost there last year, and they didn't lose a beat. They're number one in the West by far, blowing people out. They have the best player on the floor right now to me outside the Joker.
Right.
SGA is fluid, man. You can't do nothing with him. You can't stop him. He's unstoppable right now.
I think he's the MVP this
He's
year.
definitely MVP. It's too easy. The realm is really big for him. He can shoot it from anywhere, and he's killing you in all ways. I'm talking about step at three, mid range, to the layup, easy dunk. It's just not. I'm just cooking on you, man. The assist, it's just too easy. I can't think of a what kind of player can you compare him to that you could think of that you'll compare his game to. It's silky smooth. So I'm trying to think who he remind me of
Ooh.
because he never speeds up his
You
game.
know who he reminds me of? This might be a little before your time. It's actually a little before my time too, but I watched a whole lot of ESPN Classic when I used to have it in the 90s. He reminds me of the Iceman, George
Oh,
Gervin.
I thought you were gonna say George Garvin. Yep, George Gervin.
The
That's a good one.
Iceman.
Yeah, he was smooth.
So long and lanky,
Yeah,
so thin. Could get, I mean, led the league in scoring.
yeah.
He was a shooter. He was a scorer. He had that finger roll, unstoppable, unstoppable. That's who he reminds me of. But I think this dude might be better. I think this dude might be better.
Then the Iceman.
Yeah, I think he might be.
Yeah.
I think he's more. I think he's more athletic. I think he might be better. So for all you, people that they only like the older guys and blah 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 blah. I'm telling you right now, I think this dude might be better than one of the 50 greatest to ever do it, the Iceman. And if you don't know who the Iceman is, A, Google, B, don't ever say it out loud.
Now I'm gonna throw. This is gonna be a controversial opinion. Do you have LeBron or Michael Jordan as the greatest player to do it?
Oh my gosh, why are you even asking me that? It's still Jordan.
Now, why?
It's still Jordan.
Why?
The only thing that to me maybe partially closes the gap a little bit is LeBron at 40 is better than Jordan was at 40. Jordan was really good at 38, 39, 40. He was scoring, 20 points. He was averaging 20 points a game, and he was out of position. They had him playing small forward when he's naturally a two guard. But LeBron is he's still top five. He's still a top five player in the league. He's not what he was defensively, but offensively, he still got it. He's still scoring 27, 28 a game.
He's assisting. He's rebounding. I mean, he's kind of beating Michael Jordan all the categories, though.
22 years in the league, 22 years from 18 to 40. And he could play next year. If he wants to play next year, he could play next year.
And he don't get your GOAT?
No. Dude, Jordan. You know why Jordan?
Yeah, well, I wonder why Jordan is still voted.
Because when Jordan played against another great player, Jordan elevated his game, and it seemed like he found a way to make the great player go down just a little bit. That was the difference. If they were almost even, Jordan went a little up, this dude went a little down. That was consistent to me. And to me, it was more than the actual play. To me, Jordan was in their head. I'm seeing Karl Malone miss free throws that he never missed. I'm seeing Clyde Drexler turnover after turnover after turnover that he never did before. To me, he just when he got matched up against you or he played against you, team versus team, he was there. He was there. Why was it that Ewing in the fourth quarter was never the same like he was in the first quarter when he played? Why?
Yeah.
Because when it got tight and you couldn't just freelance and have confidence in a shot. And if you missed it, you missed it. You still got, the rest of the game. When every possession counted, you knew Jordan gets fouled, he's making every free throw. Is LeBron making every free throw? No. Especially in the fourth quarter, especially under 2 minutes. No, he's not.
Yeah,
No,
Michael Jordan definitely wasn't missing no freebies at the
he was
charity
getting
stripe.
a hole. He was getting fouled. The difference at the end of the game, LeBron will make the basketball play. He'll draw players to himself and kick it out to somebody else to make the game-winning shot. Jordan put it on himself. He put it on himself. Make or miss, it's on me.
It's a fact.
And he missed more than he made, but we only talk about the ones he made because he made so many of them. We can all picture it. We don't really remember too many of LeBron's because A, he didn't make as many to win the game, and B, half the time he's kicking it out to somebody else because that's the right basketball play.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, I've said for nearly his whole career, LeBron, it's not an insult to say you're the second best player ever. Number one, that's not an insult. Number two, to me, he's Magic and Dominique together, but better than both.
That's a good analogy.
That's how I see it. Magic's handles, Dominique's, athleticism, but better than both.
That's a great one, man. That's a great one.
That's how I see it.
Now we have, before I get on to this, the Monday Night Raw and what happened. Chase, Chase and Higgins got their money, man. What do you think about that? What do you think about that, man? Cincinnati finally opened up the pocketbook outside of Joe Burrow, so he gave Joe Burrow his weapons. I'm happy for Higgins.
By the way, I never understood that term with men, and they say it all the time. They opened up the pocketbook. I believe women carry pocketbooks.
I don't know, Gil. We in a new era, right? Men got men. They call them men purses.
You walk around with a man purse?
I would never.
Okay, me neither.
That's like me wearing Crocs.
I don't like.
I would never wear a Croc a day of my life.
I don't care how comfortable.
I don't care how comfortable they said they are. I'll never wear a Croc. I don't think men should ever wear Crocs.
Even wearing flip flops. No.
I'm not. I'm just not. No. I'm cool, man. Like man.
No.
Every time I say man come with Crocs, it just kind of takes the man out the man. Pause.
So to keep it going,
yes, sir.
I'm surprised because they don't normally do this.
They don't.
But the thing is, they needed to improve their defense.
They
needed to allocate some money to re-sign Trey Hendrickson. You want to get, he needs to get $30 million a year now, easy. Mm-hmm. And offense wasn't the problem. Now it's good to make Joe Burrow happy, and it's exciting, but I think we see now that to win, you got to, the trenches matter.
It does matter.
Built from the inside out, and wide receivers are a luxury.
I think that
you could say right now running back is more important than wide receiver, and they're dishing out. One guy got 115, and the other got what did
140,
60?
Yeah, was it 160 or 140?
Maybe it was 140. 140 and 115.
Yeah.
That making more than DJ Moore.
I mean, I'm happy they got their bread, but I agree with you. They didn't make no moves for the trade nor the free agency to get any defensive players to come in there. It was not the offense, like you said, was not the reason why y'all didn't win. Y'all defense couldn't stop nobody. Y'all was putting up 30 plus offensively, but y'all was giving up the other 40 to lose the game. So I would have definitely been focused on trying to get my secondary sorted up, pass rush. You couldn't stop the run. So why am I giving divas? I get Jamar Chase, cool. Why am I giving divas all this bread when I need a defense?
And the draft is not going to be enough.
No, it's not. It's not at all.
They didn't bring in really anybody of note for defense, and now they're scrambling to try and extend Trey Hendrickson when they've had him on the team, and he's gotten 35 sacks the last 2 years, but the defense is the problem. He's not the problem. and you're scrambling to hold on to him. You need him and then some. You need him and then some. You need better defensive tackles. You probably need another pass rusher. You probably need somebody in the secondary. There's no standout linebacker. I don't listen. That's Cincinnati. I don't care, and their fans are happy because I know some Cincinnati fans. They love that they signed these guys. Okay, they're going to put up nice numbers, and it's going to be good for fantasy. But I don't think it translates onto the field, in my opinion.
Before we wrap it up, man, I just gotta get to this the WWE Raw and John Cena rant, man. I thought he did a great promo, in my opinion. I thought it was great. If you're gonna go heel, man,
I didn't love it.
If you're gonna go heel, go heel. Y'all, it was y'all reason why y'all didn't believe in me. Is I did it for y'all. Y'all respect me. So I mean, yeah. Yeah, please. I mean, you gotta go out. If I'm gonna hate you, let me hate you.
Play a little violin. No, dude. I thought what was best was Cody coming out there and saying, "I want to take on John Cena," not this whiny little B. You could fill out the rest of the word. Yeah, I thought he could have. This is farewell tour, so he's gonna end up being total heel, total sellout. I thought he could have been like when he beat CM Punk at Elimination Chamber. He took advantage of a situation. I thought it could have been the same way with The Rock. Hey, man, it's nothing personal, but this is my last shot. I'm taking advantage of a situation. But no, he made it about, you guys never cared about me. And, I did all this for you, but what'd you do for me? It just sounded whiny to me. It just sounded like, what you've been doing the last 20 years, you just threw it in the trash. So I don't know. If you're going to do that, then don't wear the normal John Cena stuff. Go out there in a suit, look corporate, or dress like The Rock or something like that. Don't go out there with that hustle, respect, loyalty. Don't go out there with that then, because you're not that guy anymore. That's how I see that. And the other thing that stood out with the show was, like I was kind of predicting, it looks like it's going to be a triple threat match with Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, and Io Sky.
Yeah.
Because Rhea Ripley took the contract and wrote her name on it, which I know is not binding, but I think it kind of sets it up a little bit. So,
yes, sir.
And the last thing before we go, next week, our next show, just a preview, we are going to do the NFL Mock 12 draft, which means we're going to be picking from 1 to 12 because your Cowboys are picking 12th. So that's why we're going to do it like that. All right?
Yes, sir.
Cool. All right. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. You can catch us next Tuesday at 9:30. So make sure you watch the tournament, and we'll talk about it next week. For Larry Loper, I'm Gilly Rosari telling everybody, deuces, y'all.
Deuces, man. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
And we out.
We're out, man.